sharing my screen. So our expert Divya Malhotra is a customer account officer at UKVI, the British High Commission. She has been associated with UKVI for last 7 years. She manages relationship with UKVI with education sector for South and Southeast Asia regions, and promote effective and efficient visa processing and support, improve and innovate UKVI customer service offer. I will brief you on the Shiksha as to what we do. It's India's #1 study abroad website. We also do online counseling. So we are the pioneers in the online counseling with 56 countries, 142 universities highlighted on our websites with 70,681 courses. We also have information relating to 2,153 scholarships. This is what we do, and we are rated 4.7 overall from our clients for responsiveness, knowledge, and guidance. To read our online reviews, you can visit us at studyabroad.shiksha.com/apply. What we do, we give free counseling service to all our students and parents. Our process is quite transparent and hassle-free because we do online counseling. We have 250 plus universities across 10 plus countries. We offer fast responses to our clients with 100% online counselors are available on WhatsApp and Skype and at your home comfort because we are online and virtual. The topics that we are going to cover today will be student processing time, visa application process, supporting documents, funds requirements, immigration health surcharge, risk, and graduate route. So I will hand it over this session to Divya, who would take us through the visa process. Also, at the end of the session, we are going to take a Q&A and a live questions. In the meanwhile, in case you have any questions, please feel free to paste your questions or write down your questions on Q&A section. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Samita. Brilliant. So shall I start with the visa session now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you mind stop sharing so that I can share the screen? Thank you. Can you confirm if you're able to see the presentation on your screen now, Samita?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great, brilliant. Thank you for this, Samita, and good afternoon to everyone. I am Divya Malhotra, representing UK Visas and Immigration today, and I'm based out of New Delhi. And I'm covering the region for South and Southeast Asia, which of course covers India. And happy and glad to be part of today's session and letting you know about the latest about visas announcement and the latest updates and the process and document requirements, which covers these contents, which Samita has already shared. So to start with my first slide here, it talks about the stats of the visa application of sponsored students. So year ending 2021, March 2021 is by far globally the record highest that the UKVI has issued the number of visas grants. And for India specifically, we have seen around 93% increase from the last year, that is March 2021. So we have on the numbers, we've actually granted more than sponsored student visas in the last 12 months, year ending March 2022. And not only for India, we can see that trend, the increasing trend, not only for India, but the entire South Asia and Southeast Asia trend here. If you can look at the numbers here, the numbers have been overwhelming. We have seen more than 100% growth for the regions like Thailand, Sri Lanka has had an astounding growth, and even Bangladesh. So we can see the kind of demand the UK education, the kind of demand UK education has amongst the international students. And if you're looking into, actually um, applying for the student visa to UK, I think that's a very good choice, and the numbers speak for itself. So that is just to start with the statistics. I'll straight away move on to the latest updates on the student visa processing time. I'm aware there have been certain queries about the time student visa application is taking currently, but happy to announce that we are now well within the service standards of 3 weeks. Uh, the student visas are being processed within the timelines of 15 working days. And the student applications, we've already started seeing the increase in the intake, and the number of student visa applications are being processed within the timeline. Just to touch a bit upon the standard visitor visa applications, this is currently taking average of 7 weeks now, and it may be a little longer for some of the applications. However, we do have the priority and the super priority service available for the visitor visa, but it is temporarily suspended for the student currently, but we may look forward to having the priority or the super priority visa switched on maybe in the month of August. We do not have the confirmed date as of now, but we will let everyone know through the social media, and we'll announce it when it's switched back on. But we can probably see that coming in the month of August. But I know we have received a lot of queries regarding when PV will start, but we can hope to see that in the month of August. However, we do emphasize and encourage students to apply as soon as they can. If they have all their documents ready, if they have the class ready, we definitely encourage that students apply as soon as they're ready with their documents, and they can apply 6 months ahead of their course start date. We also ran a big comms campaign for the students, which wherein we had the clear messaging of applying early, and if they have not received the CAS yet, they can probably get other documents ready in the meantime. And if the students are facing delays in the results from the university, so we do understand that. In the meantime, they can get the other documents ready and aligned for the visa application. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. This is actually the application process wherein the student will log into gov.uk and make an online application. The immigration health surcharge has to be paid along with the application, and the information on the visa application has to be filled completely and accurately and honestly during the application, along with the documents to be self-scanned and uploaded, and then book the appointment at Visa Application Center, wherein the student will be submitting their biometrics and any other documents if they were not able to self-scan and upload, and the biometrics will then be transferred to the Visa Decision Making Center, and the decision will be made on it. Currently, as I mentioned, the service timeline for the student visa application is within the standards of 15 working days, and we are currently reviewing the situation regularly. And when the team is confident that will be able to service the demand of priority visas, we'll be switching that back as well. Next is an important slide which talks about the supporting documents that needs to be submitted along with the visa application. And these are definitely the passport of the student, it has to be current and valid passport, the caste letter from the university, and it has to be an unconditional caste letter wherein it gives the final confirmation of admission to the student. TB test certificate is a mandatory requirement for most of the Asian countries. So yes, so all the students from India will have to submit their TB test certificate as well. Based on these circumstances, individual circumstances, there could also be a requirement of further documents, which could be the evidence of the relationship with the parents, if the funds are being submitted through your parents' account, and the proof of consent from the parents as well. Educational documents listed in the CAS letter by the university, they need to be submitted along with that. And also, if there is any proof of English language skills. The evidence of funds and finances is again a mandatory requirement for the Indian region, though it may not be for the evidential arrangement countries, other countries, but it is mandatory for the students who are submitting applications from India. So these are the requirements and the supporting documents that needs to be submitted. There could be a requirement of the ATAS certificate if you are applying for a specific technical course, and your CAP will list that if it has a requirement of ATAS certificate. So this needs to be applied before the UK visa application, because that's a separate process wherein it takes 4 to 6 weeks to get the ATAS certificate. So this is regarding the supporting documents. I will move on to the funds requirements there. And I think I get most of the questions related to funds here. So I'll try and clarify most of them. The cost of the visa application is £363 for a student visa application. So apart from the visa application fees, there is a requirement to show the funds as the maintenance funds, which ensures that you are able to pay the course fees and the living expenses while the students are in UK. So if the university is in London, so it's because London is a little expensive, the requirement is a little more. So for 9 months, it calculates up to £11,300 approximately. That needs to be shown as proof of funds. Otherwise, if it's not in London, for rest of the UK, the amount is £9,027. That needs to be shown as the funds, which maybe either be present in your savings account, or it could be through a student loan. There are 3 ways in which this can be demonstrated. As I mentioned, it could be a savings account of the student, it could be a savings account of the parents or legal guardians, or it could be a spouse account as well, if the spouse is also traveling along or is also applying together, or the spouse is already there in UK. So those funds will be acceptable. The other way it can be demonstrated is through the student loan. So a lot of students take loan for the education purpose. So if the bank is issuing a student loan letter, it has to be an unconditional letter wherein it confirms the details of the student, the amount being disbursed, and it confirms that the amount will be disbursed to the student before he actually travels to UK. The other third way it can be demonstrated is either through sponsorship or scholarship. So if student has any kind of government sponsorship or a scholarship, they can show, they can submit the scholarship paper along with that. It should detail out as to how much funds are being sponsored, and if it suffices the maintenance fees and the course fees, so that is enough for the visa application. So it should meet the requirement of the course fees and the maintenance fees when this is being submitted at the time of application. In terms of the accounts being accepted, so the savings accounts or current accounts are acceptable, but they have to be in the name of the student or the parent's account. If it's through the savings account or the bank account, there is a 28-day consecutive rule applicable, wherein the funds should be maintained in the account for continuous 28 days. when the balance sheet or the statement is being taken of the bank account, those the last day of the account statement, uh, and 28 days prior to it, it should have maintained the minimum funds of, let's say, 9,027 pounds. And this statement should not be older than 30 days from the date of application. So let's take an example. If you're making an application today, 22nd of July, so the statement date should not be older than 23rd of June. So you can take a statement from the bank on 23rd June and you can apply online latest till 22nd of July. I hope that clarifies about the statement. And to add on to that, the stocks, shares, mutual funds, um, provident funds, these accounts are not acceptable as a proof of funds. Right. So that's all about funds that I wanted to talk about. I'll move on to the immigration health surcharge. So I just see this is applicable to all the travelers who are traveling to UK for more than 6 months, and they are required to pay the health surcharge, and it will make them eligible to access the UK's world-class NHS service, which is National Health Service. The fees for this is for the students at a discounted rate of £470 per year, and it is payable at the time of the application, as I mentioned in the application process. So after you pay for this, you are completely insured in UK medically, and you will be able to access all the primary and the secondary medical care as any other UK national, UK resident would be able to access. There is also an IHS calculator link that I have attached in here, wherein if students wants to know the rough estimate, how much would that be? The IHS fees would be that can be calculated. The IHS fees is calculated and is incremental at 6 months. So if the student is going for a 2 year course, it has to be of course £940. But if the course is the visa granted is for 16 months, which is more than 1 year but less than 2 years. So then the IHS fees applicable would be £470 plus uh, half of 400 for 1.5 years. So the IHS fees would be for 1.5 years, which would be how much would that be? £235 plus £470 for 16 months of the visa grant. So that's how the IHS is being calculated for the student and needs to pay. And this is very similar for the dependents as well. So the applicants who are applying for a student visa and are going for a postgraduate course, that is the master's course, they can take their dependents along to UK, and the dependents would include only spouse or children or the civil or the marriage partner. So they can take their dependents there, and the IHS fees for the dependents would be the same as for the students I mentioned, and the calculation will be very similar. Just wanted to mention to keep this in mind, the IHS fees calculated by this calculator would be an estimate amount because you will be feeding in your course start and end date here. But when the actual visa is granted, it is granted for the duration of the course plus 4 months of wrap-up period. So the IHS is actually starts for the course duration plus 4 months. So that's how you may find a little bit of difference in the actual IHS fees and the fees calculated by the calculator here. Okay, I'll move on to the risk part here. Okay, so the risk is this is actually a feedback from the student assessing team, wherein they have actually fed in the observations and the trends that they're seeing in each student application, and so they have fed back that these are the risks that they're seeing, and it may lead to rejection of the applications if these documents are not provided. So these are basically the trends wherein they're saying the applications are submitted without the PV certificate. There are applications which does not have a parental consent for the use of funds if the funds are shown from the parent's account, and there is no transparency of the funds while they are submitting the documentation. There has to be clear observations as to where the funds are coming from. There isn't any kind of transparency. Or they also see in some of the applications there are large study gaps wherein the students have not justified why there have been large study gaps in their studies. uh, the team really understands that in some of these situations there can be study gaps, but the students should be able to justify that and should be able to provide reasons for the study gap. And also whether the new course that the student has opted for, whether it's actually leading to the academic growth. It's leading to the growth academically for the students, and it relates to the previous course as well. So probably we want to keep that in mind as well. Also, I wanted to cover about the PRP letter. So, just to clarify, we when the visa is granted to the students, so they get a passport with a VINIT, which has a validity of 90 days, so which is 3 months. So the students, once they receive this VINIT or the passport, they should be able to travel to UK within those 90 days. So after they reach or they arrive in UK, they are supposed to collect the BRP letter from the university or the other address which they may have given in the application form. So what is BRP? BRP is actually the biometric resident permit, which is actually your immigration status. It's kind of your I-card, which is used as your immigration status there after your VINIT has expired. So the students are supposed to collect the BRP card either from the university or any other address which is provided. So that's what students should be aware when they have applied for the visa and they are able to travel there. Right. Uh, Moving on, I think most of the students would be aware of this since we have announced the graduate route for all the international students. Just to reiterate this, the graduate route has already started. We have started granted the visa to the for the graduate route for the students who have already cleared their graduation or a post-graduation course. So how is graduate route different from the student route? The graduate route is a route wherein all the international students who have completed their graduate course or a postgraduate course from the approved university, they can stay further. They can apply for this route and stay further in UK for 2 years for the courses for the standard courses, and 3 years for the PhD or the grad or the doctoral courses. So they get to stay in UK for this for 2 years or 3 years, and during this time, the students can work or look for work and do any kind of short or supplementary courses as well. This is a non-sponsored route, and they do not need any kind of sponsorship either from the university or from the employer there. They can just try and gain experience and get a job at any salary structure. So there isn't any cap or salary minimum salary requirement in here. So they can do part-time jobs, they can do couple of jobs, two jobs together as well. Also, this is a non-extendable route and it doesn't lead to the settlement. So this isn't a settlement route, the 2 years or the 3 years, and it is not an extendable route. Once this time period of 2 years or 3 years as the applicable is over, before this, the student will either will have to switch to the skilled worker visa if the student is able to secure a skill level job there, or switch to any other route. It could be an innovator visa or a skilled worker visa. However, if they're not able to secure the job within these 2 years, the student will need to come back to the home country or just switch before the route expires. Also, this is an in-country application process. This route has to be applied while the student is still in UK and while the student still holds the valid student visa. It has to, the student needs to bear in mind that the valid student visa hasn't expired before they apply for this graduate route. So that's important information. They need to keep a track of this as well. The graduate route is a very similar process to the student route in terms of application. It's a separate application process. The application fees for this is £715 plus the IHS fees as they are paid for the student route also. Yes, so this is the process that you would have seen earlier for the student route. Now this is for the graduate route. The only difference that you see here is the way they are applying again. So they will be applying online, but they need not visit the visa application center for submitting the biometrics here. The biometrics can be submitted through the app, ID Check app, and they will get the decision of the visa through app itself. Again, it will be an e-visa, and they can check the status once the decision has been made, and they will be able to view through check and proof service. The process takes 8 weeks. So as I mentioned, the student visa takes 3 weeks, which is 15 working days. However, for the graduate route, the timeline is 8 weeks. So only thing that needs to be kept in mind is that while when they're making the application for the graduate route, the student visa is still valid. So it's all right in the during the 8 weeks. If it is getting expired during the 8 weeks, it's all right. But on the date they apply for a graduate route, the visa should be valid. The student visa should be valid. Right. So we have granted a lot of graduate route visas till now. We do not have that currently, but I'm sure this is a very huge pull factor for the students because they get more time to stay in UK and gain experience and be able to switch to the work route visas as well. Okay, so I think that is most of it that I wanted to cover during the presentation, and this is slide for very important links which students can refer to. Everything that I have shared in the presentation today, and if there are any other further queries or details that students would need, it is available online on gov.uk. The student visa guideline, it talks everything from how to apply and what are the documents required, how the finances will work, how much needs to be shown as maintenance funds. It talks about each and everything, and this information is available publicly. Again, there are certain links for the VFS Global and UK border control. However, the border is open from quite some time now. There aren't any restrictions. If the students are vaccinated or not vaccinated, they are very much welcome to apply for the visa. There aren't any restriction in terms of vaccination now. If the students are vaccinated, they can submit their vaccination status at the immigration point. And even if they're not vaccinated or they're just left with the one booster dose, that's completely all right. When they visit UK, they can register through GP and NHS, and then they can take a booster shot there itself. So that's not a hindrance while applying for the applications now. It's quite open, it's very much open, and it's a very simple process to apply for a student visa. The requirements are quite simple, the process is quite simple, and if you need any kind of more details or help, it is very much available on the student visa guidelines on gov.uk. So thanks for listening. That brings to an end of my presentation. And Samida, I'm very happy to take any questions that the students might have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Divya. It was quite helpful. So students and parents, please feel free to raise hands and I will unmute you and you can ask questions directly. Yeah. So we have Kirti Kumari. So I'm unmuting you, Kirti. Please feel free to ask your question.
Hey, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go on.
Yeah, so my question is, my course duration is a few more days more than 13 months. So in that case, what should I fill in for IHS? Because then the charges would be increased accordingly.
Yes, so you can, if it's approximately 13 months, you can mention 18 months as your period of stay in UK. So it will give you, it should give you the exact IHS calculation for 1.5 years, which should be 470 plus 235 pounds.
But since it is just few days more than 13 months, still I should go for 18 months only, right?
Yes, Kirti, as I mentioned, it is incremental at 6 months. Plus, your course is 13 months, but you will get a visa for 13 plus 4 months as a wrap-up period. So, which actually brings it to 17 months, right?
Yeah,
12
yeah,
months
makes
plus.
sense.
So, the IHS calculation is always for the grant of the visa, not for the duration of your course.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you. So we have another one, Snehal. So I'm unmuting you, Snehal.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Sorry. Yeah, Srinath, please go on.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, I actually have a doubt regarding my visa, ma'am, because I have applied for my ATAS. It's been almost 9 to 10 weeks, and I've not yet got my ATAS.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm planning is, shall I shift my course, like to have a backup option? Shall I have another course as option? So I'll apply visa for that course. In meanwhile, if I'm getting ATAS, right, should I again get another form, or like should I submit another visa application?
Okay, so let me just tell you, ATAS does not comes under UKVI, so it has to be directly applied to FCDO through FCDO website. So it does take 4 to 6 weeks and maybe longer sometimes. So I cannot really suggest or to you how you want to proceed with your application. However, if ATAS is one of the requirement for your application for your course, it has to be applied. You can apply for the student visa only after you have had your ATAS certificate. How you want to
That's
go,
okay.
how you want to cover up on this, how you want to keep your alternatives ready, that's for you to decide. UKVI will not recommend on that.
Ma'am, actually, my doubt is that I have an conditional offer, right? That is for MSc in aerospace engineering. So for that course, I need ATAS, and once I get ATAS, I must apply for my visa. So ATAS is pending. So what I am planning is I'll apply. I'll just change my course from aerospace engineering to aerospace engineering and management. So I'll apply visa for that changed course, alternative course. Once, oh,
Srinath,
yeah,
what I
ma'am.
can do, I can ask one of my counselors to get in touch with you and help you sort this query.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Okay,
Yeah,
ma'am.
thank you so much, Srinath.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes, Snehal, please ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. I just wanted to know what is means we have applied for the UK visa in CS number. Not visa. Sorry, I'm sorry. CS number has not yet come. It's around 1 month or more. So when it is expected, because we want it for the visa application.
Snehal, Divya will be able to answer anything related to visa. The CAS is processed by the university, so we will have to get in touch with the university regarding the same. So
Yeah,
again,
but what they told that it's means there could be the delay from the UK council side. So is it so, or the university's delay is there? Means we are not understand. We do not understand that how the process goes.
the delay or the processing of the CAS happens through university. So we will have to get in touch with the university to understand where it has got stuck.
Okay.
So again, for your convenience, I will ask one of my counselors to get in touch with you.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Thank you so much, Snehal. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you, Divya, ma'am.
Prabjot. Prabjot, please ask your question.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
You're not audible.
Can you be a little louder?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Ma'am, actually, I've submitted, I gave my visa appointment on 14th of July, and later a few of the students who gave along with me were asked for work documents. Basically, for MBA, I have applied. So, if I am also asked for the work documents, what do I need to submit?
Okay, the documents that will be asked, it will be clearly mentioned in the email that will be sent to you. So they will ask you based on your circumstances what you have submitted as proof or the evidence of your academic scores or anything else. If there is any particular requirement, it will be clearly mentioned over the email.
Okay, all right. So just offer letter or experience letter would work, right?
Yes, the offer letter, the experience letter, or the if you have a leaving letter as well, that should work. But it should state in the email what kind of evidence that they are looking for.
Okay, okay, great.
Thank you so much, Prabjot. Sushil, please ask your question.
Sushil, please unmute yourself and speak up.
Sushil, you will have to unmute yourself, dear. Okay. Gaurav, please ask your question.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Please go on.
Divya, thanks for giving the time. So basically, I have a bit, a slightly different question altogether. What's your intake on the mature student, mature prospective student, like who are plus 40, and if they are looking to, do a master's program just to enhance their skills further and, to improve their further employment possibilities in India. So, what's your intake on that, and means what we need to cover while submitting the application? Any particular information which you can share with us. So we will just want to make sure that whatever way we go, we follow the right path. So appreciate it.
Yes, sure, Gaurav. Let me just clarify. So age is not really the factor on which the visa applications are assessed. It's basically, they would like to, what, decision maker would like to see is the reason for your studies. Why are you going for your studies now? Why there is a gap? And if you're able to justify that, and if it is matching to your current profile and it matches to what you want to do in future after you complete your course, so you have to justify the reason for the gap in the studies. Why this particular course? How is this going to help you in your future? So that's what needs to be explained and justified. And if it's not being, if there is something else that they are looking for and or are, doubtful about, they might might ask you for more documents, or they might keep an interview with you to understand more from you as to what is the requirement. So that is what it should match what you are looking for. The reason you should be able to justify that.
So in a nutshell, like we should provide when we are submitting our application, we should provide the entire history of our travel, our education, our work experience. That's what you meant, if I'm
Yes.
correct.
So, what has been the history of your studies? What are you looking to achieve out of this course that you're applying for? and why it wasn't done earlier, why you're doing it after the gap of 5 years or 6 years. So you should be able to justify also.
Okay. And just one same related to the same question. Like means in the visa application, there's a section like they ask if you want to mention something else or in addition to the information which has not been already been given in the form. So can we explain this our circumstances in that section just to give you a clear highlight to the visa officer? So what are the intentions?
Yeah, you may want to do that there, but I'm not sure whether it has a word limit or not. But if you're able to explain it there, that's all right. But it makes sense to have a different, a separate covering letter which explains, and also your degrees, your academic degrees, and I'm not sure whether you'll be able to explain everything on that single box of extra information or not. And I'm not sure whether it has a word limit or not. So you might want to, take a wise decision accordingly.
Okay. And you mentioned that there are 3 weeks timeline for the student visa these days. So the students who are taking their spouse or kids along with that, is the timeline still the same for them, or is it different?
Yes, it's the same for the student dependents as well. So there isn't any difference in that.
Okay. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Okay.
Amit, please ask your question.
Hello, I am audible, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
I can hear you.
Divya ma'am, good afternoon. Samida ma'am, good afternoon. Ma'am, I just want to know that when UKVI says that we just launch our file as quick as I, so when universities are taking 45 days, 60 days for just generating the offer letter, and after that the cash limit is so much higher than that. So as now we want to apply for September intake, and how can we catch that timeline if universities are not cooperating with us?
I'm not sure whether that's a question for UKVI, so UKVI will not comment on this. But yes, we'll suggest you to please coordinate with the universities. I'm sure you would have one particular spot or counselor in the university, and also the counselors from Shiksha, and they should be able to help you out. And what is the reason for delaying the CAS? If they have all the information and if you have submitted all the documents and paid the initial fees, student course fees, I think they should be able to. I mean, the kind of interaction that I have had with the UK universities, they are actually making sure that all the CASs are issued well on time without any delays if they have all the requirements completed. Otherwise, I think we would suggest you to get in touch with the universities and find out if there is anything which is pending from your end, which needs to be submitted, and ask for the timeline when they will be able to issue the CAS.
Okay,
Anything you want
and
to add, Samida?
Yeah, I think that's it. Also, Amit, please feel free to get in touch with the team and they will help you with the process.
okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Amit. Students, please, I would request to cater to the questions relating to UKVI and not ask something very related to universities, because that would not be possible to answer at this forum because this is a visa webinar. So I'm unmuting the next one. Varun,
Hello.
please. Yeah. Please.
Hello. Good afternoon. Actually, my question is on the finance. What I heard from Mrs. Divya is that it should be in the savings account or the current account of the parent, because this is getting sponsored by the parent. What my parent told that he is having in an FD account, and that FD account runs from last few years and it still continues. Whether this qualifies for having the funds in the account? That's my question.
Yes, absolutely. So fixed deposits are acceptable as proof of maintenance funds. So you can submit your fixed deposits. It can be in your name. Just two things that you need to be careful about is if you're submitting accounts as parents, So you need to provide a consent letter that you are authorizing your ward to use the funds while he is in UK for his study purpose. And second is establish the relationship between you and the student. So these two things need to go along if the funds are submitted through parents' account. And fixed deposits are completely acceptable. However, the provident fund or long-term savings account like PPF and employees provident fund, stocks, shares, any tradable stocks, they are not acceptable.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Sarika, please ask your question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, please.
Yes, so I have my VFS appointment coming soon. And since the originals aren't really in A4 size, so since I have chosen the document scanning assistance, do I need to scan all my black and white Xerox copies? Is that okay?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. So yes, you can upload and scan to Doc Scanner. That's all right. So what exactly is the question?
So can I scan all the black and white Xerox copies of all my originals over there? Or is it important to scan my originals only?
I would suggest you to scan your original document.
Okay.
Harsh, please ask your question.
Yeah. Hi, am I audible now?
Yes, yes, please.
Actually, my question is pretty simple. If my university has waived off the English proficiency test, so will it be required for the visa process?
No. So if the university has waived off the English language skills process, so it will be mentioned in the CAS letter issued by the university. So if it is mentioned in there, it is not required separately by UKVI. So it's absolutely acceptable.
Yeah, that's my question. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Harsh.
Okay.
Keetana, please ask your question.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I basically had a question. So I'm an undergrad student going to the UK, and the thing is, I'm yet to receive a decision from my firm university. So they have asked me
Okay,
to wait.
while the next question comes up, just one more thing I would like to clarify. As I mentioned, student visas are within service standards of 15 working days. So just mind that 15 working days start after the biometric has been submitted at visa application center. So your 15 working days starts from the day of biometric submission at the VAC. So please keep that in mind when once you apply online. Did you lose me, Samida?
Yes, yes. Now you're back.
Okay. Glad I'm back. So I was just mentioning, so if while you're applying online, so it may take up to 5 working days to get an appointment at visa application center. And then when you go for your appointment at visa application center and submit your biometrics, 15 working days starts from there. So please bear that in mind. We have been encouraging for the students to apply as early as they can. The team has really worked hard to come at 3 weeks service standards. It was actually more, I think 2-3 weeks back, it was actually 5 weeks. We have brought this down to 3 weeks now. But just to avoid the rush and the peak, which we are expecting next month in the month of August, so wherever the students can, they should apply as early as possible. Yeah, next question from Kirtana, please.
Yeah, sorry. Wait, so going off on what you just said, the thing is, so because I applied through UCAS, my firm choice and my insurance choice have to confirm, right? So my firm choice has basically told me that they will not be able to give me a decision until the 18th because of something with the conditions of my offer. So I have to wait until the 18th of August because that is when the A-level results are released. So and my university starts, at least the latest it starts is 19th, but for me, I prefer to be there at least a week early, which is around the 12th. So I know applying. So based off on what you just said, if I apply for my visa on the 18th itself, I will not be able to get a biometric date within 5 days or after 5 days only, right? So is there any way I could speed up that process, or is there any chance that the priority and super priority visas will come back by August 18th, August 20th, that time? Because otherwise I'll be cutting very close.
So I can at this point of time, I can just say hopefully yes, we are expecting the priority service and super priority service to be back in the month of August. Though we don't know the dates yet, but we are expecting this to be switched back on in the month of August. So you will get to know when it's on and when you're able to apply. But till that time, till you get your you get your CAS, please keep your other documents ready so that you're straight away able to apply once you have it.
Right. Okay. So let's assume I do apply on the 18th, and maybe like by the 22nd and 23rd, only then will my biometric date be on the 22nd, 23rd, or will it come between those days? Like, will I find out 5 days later?
I cannot prejudge that as of now, Kitana, but it should be within 5 days of your online application.
Okay, so there's nothing I can do from my end to speed it up for my visa application process,
You
because
can
I
only,
hope.
you can only apply for priority if it's back on, and I should hopefully it should be back by.
So there's good chances of them coming back in August.
Hopefully.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much.
Neha, please ask your question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, hello. Hi, Ms. Samidha and Ms. Divya. Thank you so much for this session, first of all. My question is actually regarding my own query. I've already applied for my visa, and it's been, I mean, I'm into the 6th week right now. So this is quite, a worrying time for me, given, 3 weeks is a standard processing time. And I've been seeing students get their visas within 2 to 3 weeks. But on Reddit forums and obviously Discord, where there are other students, me and a very few other students have had to face this delay. And we've contacted the UKVI. I've done a paid inquiry as well, and so they have escalated the case, but I seem to have no update yet. So I'm quite worried right now, and my only last resort seemed to just, get on to this webinar and contact you. So is there any
Sure,
way
Neil.
I
So
can get...
I think this is one of the case because what I know is it's within service standards if it is a straightforward case. But I would suggest and advise you to please check your emails. If there has been any additional information being asked for, please do check your spam and junk folder as well, because sometimes the email lands up there. Please do check that and make sure that you are up to date and providing the information. They might have asked for any other document or maybe an interview. So please do check that. Additionally, if it's like 6 weeks, it should not be. I'm sure they would need certain more information. But if you want to share your details with shiksha.com or Sabida, and they can pass it on to me and I can get that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your help. I do keep a tab on the emails, and I've been checking them almost every hour now, because obviously the delay is quite worrying. And I haven't received any mail asking for additional documents just as yet. But I try to do everything that I can in my might going forward. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Are you sure you're checking your the other folders as well?
Yeah, I'm checking the promotions, updates, spams, everything. Literally every single day.
Okay. Okay, and if you have applied through the through any specific agent or through Shiksha, or if you're in touch with the university, please send us the details through them, because you'll not be able to send it directly to us. So please send your query through them, and we should try and resolve that and look at it.
Okay. All right. And you mean I can send my details through the university as well?
Yes, so university, you can get, ask your university that you haven't received your visa, and if they are university would have the UKVI details, they can share it with us, and we should be able to check where it is done.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I can see many of them have raised their hands. Unfortunately, we are running out of the time, so would not be able to answer all the queries, but promise to come back to you with all the answers. I'm sharing my screen with the details, and please feel free to contact.
All right. Thank you very much, Samida, and I wish all the best to all the students who will be applying for this session and for next year as well.
Thank you so much, Divya. It was lovely to have you on board. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.